talk about bad YouTube advice going into 2026. Now, this is a live stream that I'm doing, which is very different from my normal live streams. So, you guys would have heard me typically do a lot of like teaching and learning type live streams, and it's always very structured. This one is not as structured. Okay, it's more of a conversation, and so I'm going to need you to participate here a little bit as well, although I do have like a lot of things I want to say. But what I would love to get started with is, what is the worst YouTube advice that you have heard, or what's something that you're not entirely sure you should be following on your channel? Like, just put that down in the chat, and I'll keep coming to the chat and be like, okay, what is everyone saying, right? But I'm going to get started, and I do have a presentation, little slide deck that I created for you, and it's really just going to be about the bad YouTube advice that I see, like as someone who is in the space. So I hear a lot of bad YouTube advice. I hear it from my clients, I hear it from my peers, I hear it generally on YouTube. And so really just want to find out what is all of this YouTube advice, that and why is it bad? Like, bad is very subjective, right? Bad is like, for you maybe might not be, and from my perspective I think it could be. So bad is subjective, and I thought, let's have a conversation around it, because what does bad actually look like? So just let me know in the comments, what is some bad YouTube advice that you have heard? And I did send it out on email, so I did get a couple of responses from there, and I have put that in my slide as well. So let's start with the first one. The first one that I hear all the time is that you need millions of views to make a living. Now, you hear this advice all the time on YouTube, that views and subscribers and vanity metrics, and that is what pays the bill, and that is what everybody wants, right? The whole myth about not myth, the whole thing about monetization on YouTube, where it's like, okay, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time is the thing that you need, right? And so that I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. I want to also talk about the fact that, where does this actually come from, right? It comes from the fact that YouTube itself is promoting this, right? So YouTube as a platform is promoting the fact that it wants you to get a lot of views. And why would it do that, right? The reason why it would do that is because it wants you to actually come and view as much material on the YouTube platform, so that you can you can view ads on the platform, right? And so that you can actually make YouTube money. And that's kind of the entire goal. And while I'm actually writing this, I'm sending out an email to my list. So while I'm actually speaking to you, I'm actually sending out an email to my list with the new live link. I'm actually just going to send that out so that people know where we are. We're live here because we changed it, and I just want people to be able to find this. Okay, there we go. See you inside. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sending this. I'm doing this all live, guys. I'm actually emailing. I'm doing this. Everything's happening at the same time. Okay, done. There we go. Okay, so this whole myth about you need millions of views to make a living really comes from the fact that YouTube promotes this. And the reason that YouTube promotes this is because that's how it makes money. So it needs to show its advertisers that there are people who are coming to the platform. These people are spending time on the platform. And so then advertisers are going to invest on the platform. So that's how YouTube makes its money. But I just want to make sure that my audience is not following things that are going to build YouTube's business only. I want to make sure that my audience is following things that's also going to build my audience's business, right? So we are coaches, consultants, experts, professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs. So we want to make sure that we're not just building YouTube's business, we are building our own business as well. And building our own business really means that we are starting off with attracting the right viewers. And what does that actually mean? And what does that actually look like? So when you think about attracting the right viewer, you really want to make sure that you are hyper targeted on solving problems. Okay. So when you talk about, instead of hankering after views, what if we shifted the narrative and said, okay, I want to attract the right views. I want to attract the right viewers. I want to attract the quality viewers. I want to attract people who are actually interested in the work that I do, the solutions that I provide, the services that I have, the coaching that I am giving, right? You actually want to attract the right people, because what happens is that when you are going after like a lot of views, you are getting really, really distracted by all the noise out there. And also, um, there's a lot of negativity associated with hustle culture, right? There's like this vanity metric of, oh, I only got like 30 views on my video, or I only got 500 subscribers, right? And when people say I only got, or I only have, or I only have like, 5,000, it never ends. It never ends. When does it end? When does the only ever go away? I only have, you know, um, 300 views on my video. I only have, 50 subscribers, whatever. It never ends. And playing the numbers game is a very, very quick way for a race to the bottom, right? That's the numbers game, and you can play it if you want, but I think there's a smarter way to do it. I think the smarter way is the quality perspective, and the quality perspective really means that you are going after the right viewers, you are attracting the right people. And when you start attracting the right people, there's a method to attracting the right people, and that method is that you decide what are the problems that you actually want to solve. And when you start solving those problems, then the right people start showing up, right? So that's kind of how you want to think about it. I have something here that I want to share with you. It's called my YouTube playbook, and it helps you. It's free. I put a link in the description down below for you to get it. It's free. It's updated for 2026, and it is designed to help you build authority, generate income, and design your life. And the first thing that you're going to actually find in here is, you're going to see that it's divided into these three parts, which is kind of my framework: visibility, credibility, and profitability on YouTube. But the first part of this is really attracting the right viewers. Like, you see that? That's like literally where we actually start from. And when you actually start from there, it tells you how to attract the right viewers. Like, it tells you exactly how to figure out what viewers you actually want. And when you do that, when you actually start with attracting the right viewers, you choose to do this exercise. It's a really, really simple exercise. And I have a digital copy of course, which you can, download and fill out, but you can also print it out and do this exercise. And it's a really good exercise to do to kind of figure out, okay, what do you actually want to do? Who do you want to attract? So who you want to attract depends on what you actually want to do and what solutions you actually want to provide. And when you start from who you actually want to attract, you get so much clarity. You stop running after numbers, because guess what? If you attract 100 of the right people, that's a 10K a month business. Like, that's all it takes. And so all of a sudden you shifted from not running after numbers to attracting quality viewers, right? So it is a really, really good mindset shift to make. And it is really, really good for anyone who's like sick of the hustle culture stuff, which actually brings me to my next bad advice, which is post regularly to feed the algorithm. How many people have heard this one? Okay, the algorithm needs you to post consistently. And yes, I'm not fighting consistency here, by the way. Okay, I'm not actually fighting consistency. I'm fighting random posting. not knowing why you're posting the stuff you're posting, and just posting because of a calendar, just because you have to post, or just because somebody says, oh, weekly videos are the way to post, right? So if somebody is telling you this, then you're actually posting for the wrong reasons. And what you actually want to do is, instead of just posting because you should, you want to build an asset library of authority videos. So building an asset library of authority videos, what that actually looks like, it means getting your strategy on point. It means that instead of just posting, you want to know why you're posting every single video. You want to understand that if you post intentionally, then that is actually going to build you the life that you want. And becoming a slave to the algorithm is not the way that you're going to be able to sustain it, right? You're not going to be able to sustain that level of posting, because you're constantly trying to be a slave to the algorithm, because you're not actually figuring out what it is that you want to talk about. So the way that we do it inside my community, which is the YouTube Entrepreneur Society, the way that we do it is we actually start with figuring out what we want to post, and we start to figure out how YouTube actually works. And there's a myth that YouTube promotes your videos, right? There's a big myth that, oh, YouTube's people, I hear this all the time, people saying, YouTube's not promoting my video. YouTube's not promoting my video, right? And people say this all the time, and it's a myth I hear all the time. And it's actually not true. YouTube doesn't promote your videos. And if you think that it promotes your videos and you're mad at YouTube because it's not promoting your videos, you don't understand the YouTube platform or the algorithm, because YouTube's not there to promote your videos. What YouTube's there for is to find videos for its audience. It's a big, big shift, right? It's subtle but big. Now, when YouTube is there to find videos for its audience, it means that it already knows its audience. So the YouTube platform already has so much data on its audience. It knows the demographics, the psychographics, the income graphics, the operating system you're logging in from, the countries you're logging in from. It knows the viewer history. It knows what you watch. It knows how long you watch. It knows what devices you watch on. It knows that on TV you watch different content than on your mobile phone. And on desktop you watch different content, you watch for different durations. It knows your click history, it knows your viewer behavior. It has so much data on every single viewer, right? So you're in this viewer cluster. And so when you stop running after views and you stop trying to just create content for the algorithm, and instead you start to build what I like to call an asset library. Okay. So what that does is, if this is to build an asset library of authority videos, and what this does is it actually starts from the same place that YouTube starts from. So instead of creating videos for the algorithm, you start to create videos for your audience. And that changes everything. It literally changes everything. When you start to create videos for your audience versus the algorithm, guess what happens? You start to think about an audience first strategy. And I'm going to show you in the playbook where you do that. We build this thing inside the YouTube Entrepreneur Society. It's called the triangle method. Okay. And it literally puts your audience in the center. Do you see that? So it's literally your viewer is in the center. And then you build the entire YouTube strategy around your ideal viewer. So it absolutely follows exactly what YouTube wants you to follow. It wants you to create videos for its audience. So you have alignment when you actually think like that, instead of like, I got to beat the algorithm, or I got to be a slave to the algorithm. You don't got to beat it. You don't got to be a slave to it. You just have to align with it. And alignment looks like putting the audience in the center. And then how we build it out is very, very simple. So what we do is we start with the problems that you want to solve for your audience. So the first problem, the second problem, the third problem, right? And then we figure out what solutions do we want to offer to our audience. And then we start creating content that exactly feeds into that. So every bit of video that you are creating is geared to the solution that you want to show to your audience, which is then geared to the problem that they want to fix. And all of this is relevant to this one person who has all of these issues. Uh, so they're not just viewing one video on your channel and be like, okay, I got what I needed and I don't need to come back here ever again, right? They are now going to be watching every video because every video is relevant. Every video makes sense for where this person is and what their problems are. Every single video is super, super aligned. So this changes everything. Now, instead of you thinking, I need more views, you're thinking, okay, who's my ideal viewer and what are their problems? And so that becomes so much easier to start with. You don't need to really rack your brain too much for that. You need to just start with what are the actual problems that you want to solve. Okay, I want to go to the next bit of bad advice that I see all the time. And by the way, feel free to share in the chat what is some bad advice that you have heard that you would like me to pick apart. And we can do it together. If there's any bad advice that you have heard that you think you're not sure, should you be following this? Does it make sense for you? Do you actually want to do this? Put that down in the chat and we'll have a discussion about it. All right. The next one that I want to talk about, this one is something that I hear all the time, and I've never actually spoken about it, but I want to dispel it today. Don't sell until you have 1,000 subscribers. Now, this one is very common, perpetuated by people who are constantly at the forefront of trying to think that, okay, we need an audience first before we can sell anything. And I get it. I get it. It sounds very counterintuitive. It's like, of course, I want to give value, right? I want to build an audience first, and I want to, who's even going to buy something from me if I haven't first built an audience? That's the common thing that people are like, who's going to buy from me if I don't have an audience right now? And I can tell you that YouTube is not the platform where you need to build a big audience who will actually buy from you. There are other platforms where you do need that, where that is absolutely true. But on YouTube, a few good videos, even your first video, if it's actually valuable, can get you income, sales, product sales, customers, clients, coaching clients, leads. Your first video can actually start to do all of that for you. So you don't need to wait. Now, when I started my other channel, the one that I've now abandoned, and I grew that to 66,000 subscribers, I knew that I wanted to partner with Entrepreneur Magazine early on in my career. I was like, okay, I've got to get on that. And that was just one of my goals. And all I did at that point was create 10 videos. And I was like, okay, I need to show them that this is what I talk about. These are the perspectives, these are the topics I'm going to be covering. And I created 10 videos and I applied for a partnership with them, right? I got my first brand deal under 1,000 subscribers. Now, a lot of people are like, no, you must have had other assets, and I didn't. I didn't have any presence digitally apart from that channel. And that channel was literally my only platform. And from that channel, I built all of the other things. I built my email list. I built all of these other areas and things in my life, right? But the channel was really the foundation of how I positioned myself and how I told other people, brands, partners, magazines, how I told all these other people that this is what I talk about. This is what I want to talk about, and this is how I talk about it. So, all your videos are really about showing what you're about. Like, all you're doing is showing your expertise, your knowledge, your experience, your personality, your humor, your, quirks, whatever. Like, all of your videos are really just about that. Like, why am I doing this live stream right now? I'm doing a very off the cuff live stream because I want you to hear my raw thoughts. I want you to hear how I think if I'm not like super prepared. Like, I don't have like a whole, I don't have a notes. I don't have a presentation. I have a couple of slides and then I'm just riffing because these are things I actually believe in. These are things I have lived experience in. And so, when you come at it from that perspective and you show who you are, what you value, what's your perspective, what are the different things that make you so unique and so you, then that sells. So you don't need 1,000 subscribers. You don't need artificial numbers. You can start as soon as you decide. Like, that's what I work with my clients inside Yes. If you don't know, Yes, it's my membership. It's called the YouTube Entrepreneur Society. There should be a link in the description which you can check out if you want. I think it's yeah, there's the wait list right now because it's closed currently. But when we do open it, you can be the first to know. But however, I just want you to know that when you create your triangle diagram, these are some. This is my YouTube playbook, which I'm showing you, by the way. When you create your triangle diagram, this is what it might look like. So these are samples from some of my clients. So this is an empty version, and then this is like my triangle diagram. So these are the things that I solve. These are the problems I solve. These are the solutions I talk about. And then these are the video categories or playlists inside YouTube that I actually use. Right. So you can absolutely fill this out, and it's going to give you so much clarity about, okay, what exactly is it that will attract people to you and how you can show your value and how you can start to make sales. So everything is given in there. All right. So the thing that I want you to take away from this bad advice is, instead of waiting for 1,000 subscribers, you want to launch an income system from day one, video one. And you might be like, okay, Salma, what's the income system that I need to launch? And I'm glad that if you're thinking that, and I'm glad that you are thinking that, because I want to show you the income system that I have over here. I actually don't have one. I have 4 income systems for you. So on this page of the YouTube planner, I have 4 income systems that are going to help you to monetize your YouTube channel before reaching YouTube monetization. So before reaching 1,000 subscribers, before reaching 4,000 hours, these are the 4 income systems that you can use. And I would suggest pick one. Don't do all 4 because that's going to get a little overwhelming and you need proof of concept, right? So I would suggest that you want to choose one to start with. Okay, so these are the 4. There's the client income system. This one helps you to attract coaching or consulting clients. There's the product income system, right, where you sell a digital product or an offer. There's the affiliate income system, where you don't even need a product. You can sell other people's products and services, tools you love, software you use and recommend, right? So this one is really easy to get started with. In fact, I have a video on my channel about how my client Sabine used the affiliate income system and made $22,000 with under 3,000 subscribers on her channel. So it is something that you can get started with, like literally day one, video one. It's absolutely possible. I started promoting like a software. I think it was Opus Clip on this channel. No, it was on my previous channel, and TubeBuddy. And I remember I got sales from those videos like within an hour. Like, that's how fast sometimes it can work, because if it's something that is popular, people want it, and you make a video showing how they can use it, then you can absolutely make sales from affiliate marketing. The last one is a brand income system, where you can partner with brands for ongoing sponsorships or long-term contracts. And I know people are like, oh, you need more, you need vanity metrics, you need subscribers, you need views. But sometimes brands are just looking for how you explain things. Like, that's what my first few brand deals were. Brands were like, we like how you explain our product. We like how you're talking about it. Nobody has shown this particular use case. Like, that's how I got my first brand deals. Like, it was not because I had a ton of subscribers. It was not because I had a ton of views. It was because I was able to talk about the software in a way that was very different from how other people were talking about it. So Keep that in mind. So when you get the YouTube playbook, which is linked, by the way, in the description below, you get these income state systems, and with each income system, you get a timeline of how fast it can work, right? And then you get some of examples here as well, so you can book your first client from your first video. So this is like the fastest way to make money from YouTube. Like timeline is 30 to 60 days or even less. If you're a little bit more proficient and you know what you're doing and you're already good at video, then you can even do it faster than this. And I have all these other timelines listed here as well. And then again, you can, it's a multiplier effect. You start with one and then it gets going, then you add in another one and that gets going, and then every video still is bringing you income from that first income stream that you set up. And then when you add another income stream on top of that, it just stacks up and multiplies exponentially. So you're not doing it one after the other, excuse me. So you're not doing it like linear, you're doing it like a stacked version, right? So that's kind of what I mean by launch an increment from day one, video one. Like that's the smart way of doing it. Okay, let's talk about shorts. Now, this is a bad advice that I hear all the time. Long videos, short videos, what should we do, right? And let me know in the chat what is your thing? Do you hear this all the time? Like, should I do shorts? Should I do long? Should I do both? Okay, let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. What should you do? I know there's some people in the chat right now watching. I'd love for you guys to put down in the chat, what do you think you should start a channel with, or what do you think should be your strategy? Long form, is that the best? Shorts, are that the best? And if you're confused, put that down as well. Are you confused about which one is better to start with? I would love to hear. I really would. I know that this one is a big point of contention because it's easier to create shorts. A lot of people get overwhelmed with long form content. Um, and I have gone viral with shorts on my previous channel. So I know that in some cases it works. However, there's a big caveat. There's a big caveat with shorts. Shorts attract entertainment seekers. If that's your goal, that's great. If you want a hobby channel, you want to make people laugh, enjoy something, have fun, absolutely, I'm not going to knock it. Go ahead, do that. Shorts are fun, they're short, and they are designed to attract dabblers, people looking for a quick dopamine hit, people looking to be entertained. Think about it. When are you scrolling shorts? When are you on your phone and going like da 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 da? Okay, yeah, very nice. Okay, when are you doing that? Late at night? Don't lie. I know you're doing it late at night. When you're bored, when you want a distraction, bathroom. Okay, I know you're scrolling shorts in all of these situations. Those are not situations where you are in any kind of serious mode. You're not in the learning mode. You're not trying to learn something new. You're not trying to skill up. You're not being like, oh my god, I need to learn this. No, you're not. You're just not, right? You're not in buying mode. Certainly not. You're not like, you don't have your credit card in hand thinking, okay, I need to be in this coach's system, or I need this product. That's not happening when you're in shorts. You're not in trust mode either when you're watching shorts, because YouTube is auto playing these shorts. And so you watch one creator, then you watch another creator, then you watch another creator. So it's hard to build that long term trust, right? So you're not in trust mode either. So you're not in buying mode, you're not in trust mode, you're dabbling in entertainment mode. You're not in value mode. You're not trying to find a solution to a problem, right? So you're not in any of those modes. So as creators, when we think about, okay, shorts or long form, think about what's the end goal here. Do you want a hobby channel? Then great, shorts are great. Do you want to provide entertainment? Again, shorts are great. Do you want to have a short term, hit, dopamine hit for the people that you want to target, again, shorts are great for that. But if you want freedom, personal brand, financial stability, and YouTube to actually generate an income for you, if you want to build a business asset, then I have two suggestions, and they're not shorts. So the first one is long form videos, of course. And the second suggestion, you may be a little bit surprised to hear this, is what we're doing today, is a live stream. Mhm. Even if no one is watching, even if you have no comments, even if you have no subscribers, even if you have no views, you should go live on YouTube. And I'll tell you why. Now, the reason why you want to go live on YouTube is, first of all, you get to practice your speaking skills. This is really important for on camera confidence. Going live is nerve wracking. You'll have tech issues, you'll have things break down, you'll have things not working. This will happen, and you need it to happen so that you can get over it. So that's one. The second reason why you want to go live is because you're going to develop the ability to speak to the camera off the cuff, which is going to get you more comfortable with the camera, which is going to get you to really start to think about what are the things you want to say, how you want to say them, what is the brand image that you want to project, and all of that. It's going to give you the confidence, the clarity. Before YouTube, before I did YouTube Live, I was on an app called Periscope. Who remembers Periscope? Really old school, 2016. And I remember I used to go live on Periscope just to practice my on camera skills, right? And so if you don't want to do YouTube live, that's fine, but just practice going live on camera. It is so good for developing your skills, for getting people into your world, for building loyalty and trust. It works way better than shorts. I'm telling you today, the amount of effort that you're going to put into creating a short, put that effort into going live on YouTube, no matter how scary it might seem. No matter if you have no engagement, no views, no subscribers, nothing. Prepare like a short slide deck like I did today. Like I'm literally walking the talk with you guys here. I have 77 subscribers on this channel, and I'm going live. This is my second live stream here, right? And I'm going live here, and I don't just want to tell you stuff to do. I want to show you that I'm actually doing it. And I'm doing it to prove a point, but to also show you that you absolutely can do this. You do not need an audience. You do not need an email list. You do not need virality. You don't need anything. You just need to have a talking point. You need to have a message. You need to know what you want to say. And then you don't even need to go live for an hour. You can go live for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 6 hours, whatever, right? And just practice that. And that is going to build more loyalty and trust with your audience than shorts are going to do. So if your goal is business, if you want to get clients, you want to get customers, do long form videos and do live streams. And that brings us to the next device. So I already talked about creating trust accelerators, which are long form and live streams. And the next bit of advice is buy a better camera, upgrade your backdrop. This friend of mine was like, I need to buy plants before I can actually do YouTube videos, that kind of stuff, where we all think, okay, we need to do XYZ thing before we are ready to actually before people will take us seriously, before we can actually create this channel, or before we can actually be professional on it. And so I would say, instead of thinking about gear and equipment, which is a procrastinator's tactic, and it is definitely in the excuse category, what you instead want to do is you want to fix your messaging. So what do I mean by messaging? So your messaging is very, very strategic and intentional. So you want to decide, okay, how do I want to show up on camera? Like, do I want to be quick-witted? Do I want to be humorous? Do I want to show this side of my personality? Do I want to have like dark humor? Do I want to have like pure educational value? Do I want to show up as the teacher? Do I want to show up as somebody who is friendly? Do I want to be high vibe? Do I want to be like luxurious? Do I want to be like, there's so many different ways that you could think about this, right? And there's so many different ways you could think about what side of my personality do I want to show on camera? What part of my personality do I think would be suitable for the kind of business I want to run? So if I was running, like, let's say, a cooking channel, and I wanted to share recipes, I might be in more of an experimentational mode. Okay, let's see what works. Let's see how this tastes. And it might be more of a, I'm going to take you with me, which will be a totally different vibe, right, of a channel. Let's say I was a sales coach. I would have more of a premium look, and my messaging would speak to people who wanted to make sales, right? So the vibe would change, it would shift. And so instead of thinking about upgrading your camera, upgrading your lights, I would literally say start with upgrading your messaging, start with upgrading your positioning, start with upgrading how you want to show up and who you want to show up for. And that is really why people will follow you. Like, do you subscribe to channels that, have slightly maybe bad lighting or a bad backdrop, but their message is like super on and it was absolutely valuable for you to hear? I know I do. I know I do. If their messaging is on point, I'm like, this person is really good. They really know what they're talking about. Yeah, maybe they could have had better lighting, or maybe, they were using natural light and the clouds were passing over their head and it was like shadow and dark and whatever. But that's not gonna stop me from watching the content. That is not a deal breaker, right? Gear equipment is rarely a deal breaker. The messaging, therefore, is the absolute deal breaker, because if you don't have that messaging on, people are going to just like log off right away, ruthless. Like they're just going to X out of the video like right away, right? So the messaging being on point is way more important than gear, equipment, or anything else that you might think is important. Okay. This one is a hotly debated one. Start a faceless channel for passive income. I hear this all the time, and inherently, it's true. You can start a faceless channel for passive income. I am not knocking that. However, what I think is a better strategy is to build a personal brand instead. And the reason why I am saying this is because let's look at the same way we look at shorts, let's look at faceless channels. What are they about? They are about money over authority. So, what you want to do is you want to build a faceless channel so that you get a lot of views, right? Views equate AdSense. That's why people build faceless channels, right? I want to build a faceless channel, create a lot of content, and have that content rack up a lot of views so that YouTube can put ads on my videos and I can earn money through that. I'm not knocking that strategy. That is an absolutely viable strategy. However, it's not the strategy to use if you want to build a personal brand asset. What happens when you don't have AdSense anymore? And I'm speaking from experience. My AdSense got blocked for a year, one whole year. I had no access to my AdSense, which is a story I'm going to tell in another video, perhaps. I'm not going to go into it because it's going to take me a while to explain to you how that happened. But I have been there, so I'm not just saying these things. I just didn't just pull these things out of a hat. I've actually been there. I've had my AdSense taken away. I've had it blocked. And AdSense inherently is not in your control. AdSense is when YouTube pays you money to put ads on your videos, which by definition means that if there are no advertisers advertising on your channel, if YouTube deems your content inadmissible for placing ads, if your channel gets a copyright strike or gets demonetized in some way, then you lose all of that AdSense money. If there is a case where a channel lost their monetization because someone else, like not even them, someone else posted a lewd comment on their channel. So totally not in your control, right? You can't control what other people are going to be posting. And so AdSense is wild, fluctuates, not in your control. And think about the philosophy behind starting a faceless channel. When you start a faceless channel, you'll need hundreds of videos getting you hundreds of thousands of views. That's a lot of work. Are you ready for that? That's a lot of work. It takes an immense amount of time and commitment. Again, I know exactly what I'm talking about. My husband runs a faceless YouTube channel. I am not just saying this. I experience it. I know how hard he works at it, how many videos are required, how much the views matter on that. And I am telling you right now that if that's what you want to do, that's great. But this channel, I'm here to help you build a freedom lifestyle. I didn't move to Portugal on faceless channels, right? I didn't have hundreds of videos making 100,000 views a day. My like biggest video on my old channel, I think only had like I don't even remember, maybe 200,000 views, and that was like the highest, I think, if I remember correctly. So I didn't go viral. I didn't have a lot of views. I didn't even have like hundreds of videos. I only had like about 300 videos at that time, and that's over a period of 10 years. Okay, 10 years. That's not a lot of it, not a lot of videos over that period of time. And I was still not making enough money on AdSense, right? All of the income came from products and clients and sponsorships and affiliates. And so that, I mean, I changed my life with that income. Moved to Portugal, moved my family to Europe, right? So you do not need a faceless channel if you are not willing to put in the hustle that that will take. So if you're thinking, I'm going to start a faceless channel and get rich tomorrow, that's not going to happen. You need a lot of commitment. You need a lot of videos, and they all need to get a lot of views. So that's one approach. But I think a more smarter, more strategic approach, especially for entrepreneurs and business owners, is to build a brand, because you have 100 views on a video, but if they are the right views, which I show you inside the YouTube playbook, the right views, the right audience, and how to get that. It's absolutely free from the description down below, by the way. You can grab that. And if you follow this, you don't need virality. You just don't need it, because those 100 people who are watching your videos are the right 100 people, and they're going to convert into buyers, clients, customers, advocates for your brand, and that there is so much more value in that. So, yeah, so I'm not against faceless channels, but I just don't think that you need to actually do that. Okay, let's talk about niching down. There's so much bad advice about that. They're like, niche down, don't niche down. Then some people are like, you are the niche, you don't need to find your niche. So, what does all of this actually mean? So, what I like to say about this whole niching stuff is that instead of niching down, you want to actually own your perspective, right? So, what does that look like? Owning your perspective instead of like just trying to figure out what your niche is. Now, when I work with my clients and we talk about niching down, it literally looks like this. I'm just gonna go over to the right page here. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Um, this is really different from what the niching down advice, by the way, that you hear from a lot of people. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our triangle, and this is the exercise you're going to do, right, to niche down. You're going to talk about the person you want to attract, one person, not a group, not a family of people, not a demographic. Okay, one person. It could be a past client. But my favorite way of doing this exercise is either actually thinking of a past client or thinking of me in the past. So me 10 years ago is my ideal client, right? So that works. So if you have a YouTube channel and you've accomplished stuff, and then you want to teach people how you got to where you are, think about you 5, 10 years ago. That could be your ideal client. Or if you actually have a client, then that's the person that you're going to write down over here, right? And then the next thing is, what are their 3 biggest challenges? What are the problems? I can't sleep at night because I have chronic insomnia because my hormones are fluctuating all the time and it's driving me crazy. Like, That's the level of problem you actually want to think about, right? That's what you want to write down here. So you're going to write down these problems, and then for each problem, what are the solutions and how do you help them? That's your niche, guys. That's how easy it needs to be. That's your niche. Your niche is you deciding what problems you want to solve and for whom. That's your niche. That's why this model works, because what you've done is you've put that person in the center, and all of your topics, everything that you talk about becomes relevant to them. So then this is your entire niche. Your triangle is your niche, because you decide these are the problems I want to solve. These are therefore the topics I want to talk about. This is the person who I want to solve them for. This is the person who I want to attract. Right? So instead of thinking of your niche as a topic, instead of thinking of your niche as an industry, instead of thinking of your niche as some kind of string of keywords, you think about your niche as, what do I want to be known for? What are the problems that I solve? Therefore, that's the stuff I'm going to talk about. And so, therefore, that's what people are going to come to me for. That's what I'm going to be known for. So, your niche is not you necessarily. Your niche is not, oh, I'm going to talk about everything under the sun. Imagine if on this YouTube channel I started talking about um, journaling. I started talking about wearing prescription glasses. I started talking about my favorite drink. You'd be like, what is she on? Like, I can't watch all of this random content, right? So, your niche is a combination of the problems you want to solve, the person you want to solve them for, and what you intrinsically want to become the go to person for. So you decide, I want to be known as the person who solves these problems in this way. That's my niche. And so you eliminate all the, oh, I need to niche down or niche up, or I should be the niche, or blah, blah, blah. All of there's so much talk around this, and I just want to cut through all of that and make it really, really simple, right? So that's what I have to say about the niche. Just own your perspective, use the triangle method, and own your perspective on the things that you want to talk about. Okay, let ChatGPT write your script. So this is your AI powered bad advice. Now, I'm probably going to do some kind of video on like ChatGPT writing my scripts, but then keep in mind you're going to lose your voice, right? And so the opposite of this bad advice is to own your IP, own your intellectual property. And for that, you can use my authority video framework, which is actually right here in part 2 of the playbook. The entire authority video system is right here. So instead of letting ChatGPT write your script, you want to create authority videos. Authority videos literally bridge the gap between your expertise and your income. The triangle method defines your messaging. The authority videos spread that message and build community, and then the income streams monetize that credibility. So when you have this system going and working for you, you are actually not reliant on ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever Perplexity to write your scripts for you. You're writing scripts from your experience. You're writing them from things that you can talk about at a level that nobody else can talk about it from. I have clients in my authority video sprint right now currently doing these exercises. I'll give you a quick example. So one of my clients is a tech project manager. And he said that he wants to tell people that you don't need a certification to become a project manager, because he got the certification, paid $1,000 for it, and it was useless. And that's the kind of advice that doesn't come from ChatGPT. It doesn't. That's the kind of advice that comes from real world lived experience. And it's more powerful because you can back it up. Like, you can literally tell people, look, I did this. it you don't have to spend $1,000 doing it. I made this mistake. I'm going to save you $1,000. You don't have to make that mistake, right? I'll give you another example from another client of mine. She's an Italian language coach, and she said that one of the things that she wants to make sure that her clients understand is that they don't need to be grammar obsessed to learn Italian. Like there's a better way to learn, right? And so that's coming from her lived experience, from her work with clients, and she's able to teach that. No AI is going to be able to replicate your actual world experience. Now, am I against AI? Absolutely not. I love AI. I love AI systems. I love all the chat GPTs and Geminis and everything out there, but I use them to my advantage to actually build my own ideas up. So instead of going to AI to get my ideas, I'm getting my ideas from here and then using AI to structure them, to amplify them, to repurpose them, to get them in a way that the packaging is right, to get them in a way that the positioning is right, right? So I use formulas, I use templates, I use frameworks, I use structures, all of that I build in AI. But the ideas all have to come from my lived experience, from things I have experience in, because that's how you become uncopyable. Nobody can copy you. Like AI, no other person can come on YouTube and create the videos that you are creating. Like they just can't, right? They can't do that because you are putting yourself in the video. AI cannot copy you. Competitors can't copy you. People cannot copy your advice in the same way. They won't have the same proof. So my client who's doing the project management certification is coming at it from a very unique perspective, and nobody can copy that, right? My client who's doing the Italian language coaching, nobody can copy that because she can bring up examples of her actual clients. So she can say that my client did this is this, and this is what actually worked for them. So when you build your videos from an authority video framework, when authority comes first, then credibility follows, and then profitability follows after that. So you are uncopyable and you don't need ChatGPT to write your scripts. However, you can use AI to enhance your scripts, to add value, to give examples. To one of the easiest ways that I actually use AI is to feed it my script and tell me, give me some ideas of what b-roll will work here. What images should I be showing next to when I'm talking about this? Or what would make this visually interesting for the viewer to see, right? But don't use AI to actually write your scripts because that's giving away your IP, your power. And you want to own that. That is your number one thing that you actually own. Owning your IP is the biggest competitive advantage that you could have. Which brings me to the last big mistake that I see is you need a huge audience to have a real business. Now, I am proof of changing my life without a big audience. My videos don't go viral. I haven't even reached 100,000 subscribers on my old channel. I changed my family's life and I moved us to Europe on a small channel. How in the world can I do that? I didn't need those I didn't need those big numbers. I didn't need them. And I know it sounds like impossible when you're sitting on the other end of this and you're thinking, no, but everybody I know has these big numbers. Every successful person I know. That's because the actual successful people are quiet. They're implementing, they're getting the results, they're walking the talk, and they are proof that it works, but they're not the loudest. They don't have the most views and subscribers, and they don't have the most noise on their channel. But what they do have is they have a system, and that's what I want you to have. And that's kind of why I want you to get this is the system. The entire YouTube playbook, it gives you the system for building authority, the system for generating income, the system for designing a life that you can profit from. And you can use YouTube as a mechanism that builds your visibility, builds your credibility, and it builds your profitability without going viral, without having a big channel, without needing big subscribers, without hustle culture, without creating shorts or dancing on reels or any of that, without feeling boxed into a niche, without all the other bad advice that I shared, right? Without doing any of that, you can still build an amazing life for yourself, for your family, for your brand, if you follow the principles laid out in this. So I have, this is 27 pages. Excuse me. This is 27 pages, and I have put all of my best advice in here. And I'm giving it away for free. I could literally have charged for this product because I think it's that valuable. And that's my ethos as well. I think that your freebies, your lead magnets should be something that you can actually charge for. That's how good they need to be. I could have absolutely charged for this, but if you want the lifestyle, you got to decide one day or day one. Is today going to be day one? And if so, grab the YouTube playbook, and I will see you in my recorded videos and in my future live streams as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.